All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to announce that we have had another successful pass for the United States SIFT, United States Army SIFT test. Um, Most people that want to go and they want to pursue a United States Army helicopter pilot have to take an exam called the SIFT test. The SIFT test, it consists of reading comprehension, math, and mechanical comprehension. No, not just that, and also Army aviation information. I'm a tutor that prepares for it. You can reach me at stemwithkino.com. He should be on shortly, so I just thought I'd come on up, and actually he's coming right now. So you guys can ask questions if you like.
Actually doing pretty well on it, and I was surprised. I probably got around 15 questions or so. But no, the math was a lot of what we covered, but it wouldn't exactly tell you what you had to do to solve the problem. So like one of the questions was, it said from point A to point B is whatever 6 miles, from point B to point C is 8 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was saying, so like, what is it from point A to point C directly? So it would like, A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be like that, but it throws you off because it gives you like the answers for if you were to just answer it by, it gives you, it kind of like, so A through D, it'll be like, A, B, and D will be the wrong answer, but I could see how people could get it, like if you were just to add it or multiply it, something like that. But so it's a lot of kind of trying to figure out ways to solve it and how to solve it correctly. I think on the math, one of the questions was 2x plus 6 equals y plus 1, stuff like that. Another one of the math questions was, I remember we had a similar one. It was, so-and-so is driving 5,000 miles. He drives 1/10 of it on the first day, and then he drives 1/8 of it the second day. How much does he have remaining? And that was most of the math. Yeah.
Okay. So, according to what I'm hearing, there weren't a whole lot of surprises in the math section.
Not at all, no.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, and be brutally honest, because I use this for metrics, to make sure that, my next clients that come to fight, make sure, on a scale of 9 to 10, how prepared do you say you were for the math section?
I'd probably say 9.
Okay, 9. That's fair. All right. Okay, let's talk about the mechanical portion of the test.
Yes. Okay, so I actually have a lot of notes on mechanical. It started out pretty simple, and as you said, it seemed to be reactionary. It got very, very in-depth. So it started out with questions about pulleys. It started out with, so it didn't ask me any work problems, but it asked me what the formula for work was.
Work equals force times displacement, I hope you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got that. The interesting thing though was it was asking about pulleys, and it would give you a scenario with a weight attached to a pulley system with a certain amount of rope systems, and then it would ask for the work needed to lift the object, but it would ask it in newtons.
Okay.
So I found that to be interesting. The other one is it would talk about like if a hand touches a cold pole, like what's going on there. It asked if like you pull a yo-yo, what direction does it go? What else? It phrased it in a way so like the who is the father of like the Venturi effect or like the idea behind it, and Bernoulli was the name there.
Yeah, Daniel Bernoulli, the Swiss physicist.
Yeah, so they had that. What else? They had a lot of questions with water, like in a tube, and its velocity.
Mm-hmm.
So
The Venturi tube.
Yeah, so it would show like the norm. Here, let me see. So it would give you like the Venturi tube, kind of like that, and it would say A, B, C.
Mm-hmm.
It would ask for stuff like that, but it would also give it in like I got 2 or 3 questions like that, and it was asking about velocity. So there were definitely a fair amount of questions on Bernoulli and Venturi. And then the other one was on pressure in like water. So it's kind of a bad drawing, but kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different boxes, and it would ask like where the most pressure was, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would show 2 boxes of the same size, and it would say one is 100 degrees, one is 15 degrees, which one has the most energy in it. And that was the majority of the types of questions. And then I did actually get one on coefficient sliding friction.
Did you?
Yeah, which I was really surprised about. So I got one on that. So what it showed here, let me see if I can show it. It showed like a pulley system, and then so it showed like this. So it had like a 4 kilogram weight attached to a pulley, like going off the side of something with a 2 kilogram weight. Mm-hmm. And then it said what is the amount of friction or whatnot being used there.
Okay.
And then one of the last ones that I got, which was really, really surprising. I could definitely feel it getting harder and harder as it progressed on. Mm-hmm. And it had to do with like nuclear power or nuclear reactions, and it was saying that like if something is added or something is removed for the protons and electrons, I don't really remember the quote, but it was saying like if something is added, it raises the protons, or if something is removed, it adds or removes electrons. I forget what the exact question was.
It might possibly have to do with the removal of electrons, because electrons are pass. Mm-hmm. They're what you call free electrons, and they jump from one atom to another atom.
Mm. So yeah, that was definitely one of the harder questions on it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, it was definitely a lot easier than the last time, just because I knew a lot more about what I was doing.
So, just to be clear, the first time you took it on your own, and how successful were you?
Not very.
Okay. And then after you trained with us, and then on the mechanical, tell me, and be brutally honest. You know, because I'm straight up, but be brutally honest. If you think there was something we could have done better, but on a scale of 9 to 10, like I said, it helps me with my metrics, preparing future applicants. How prepared do you feel like you were? Did you feel you were for the mechanical on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would probably say about an 8.
Okay, an 8.
And I think the reason being, first of all, I think even if we had studied some of the stuff because there were a few surprise questions on there. Mm-hmm. But
not a lot. But not a lot of.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
a few.
Definitely
okay.
not a lot.
Just wanted to be clear.
Yeah. Definitely not a lot, but I think the ones that were, since we've talked about this, and since the test gets progressively harder with correct answers, I think that I was getting to a point where, it was pretty clear. It was very obvious that the questions were getting harder since I was getting correct answers.
Mm-hmm. But,
so I think that was definitely a good sign. And I think some of that stuff would have been really hard to have known either way, had I studied it or had I not.
Okay. All right. Okay. What was your father's reaction when you told him?
He was very, very happy.
That's good. That's good. Make sure you tell him I said hello.
Yeah, well,
We
do.
had a
And I also had some notes on the aviation section. If you wanted those, I remember.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it. And before we even go into that, how prepared would you say you were for the aviation portion of the SIFT with our training? Like,
I'd say 10.
10? Okay, that's good. Now, before that, when you took it on your own, how prepared did you feel?
Probably around a 6.
Okay, so you were at a 6. You felt like you were at level 6 when you prepared on your own. But for the Army aviation information, after you went through our training, you said you felt like you were at a 10.
Yes, I mean, by far. I mean, and I say 6 looking back on it, now knowing what I know. So probably at the time, I probably was even less so prepared.
Okay, before, not now.
Yes.
No, I just want to be clear. All right, so that's good. I like those metrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
9 for math, 8 for mechanics. The mechanical information is physics information, and it's, according to you, nuclear information. Yeah. And so I'll take that 8. But there's always room for improvement. And for the aviation, you gave me a 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Well, yeah, I better get a 10. As long as something in the
air. And I think for the math and the physics, just the feeling of preparedness more stems from how I picked up the information versus what was being taught. So by that I mean, like, I would say all of the information was there, but just I could only, in my mind, comprehend so much. Because I would definitely say that all the information was there. It's just about what I retained, I guess is what I'm saying. But the aviation, I think I might have missed 1 out of 40. I felt really, really confident with that.
Well, that makes me feel good being an aviation instructor and all.
Yeah. But I actually have a few questions that I memorized.
Okay.
So one of the questions was just, where is Army Flight School? The difference between a slip and a skid. And then one of the questions was, what is the upward bending of the main rotor blades during takeoff? What is the force that pulls outward? Or it said centrifugal force, and it was like A pulls outward, B pulls inward, something like that. A nose down helicopter will, and I believe it was A, speed will increase, B, speed will decrease, and I forget what the other two answers were. Then it was asking about what the altimeter does, and then auto rotation in relation to like powered gliding. What the Kiowa helicopter was used for, and the Army's primary utility helicopter.
Okay. All right.
But that was pretty straightforward, and it was by far the easiest section.
Really?
Yeah, by far. Because a lot of the practice questions that we went over were very similar to what was on the test. Oh, and I also have written down here, there were a fair amount of percentage questions on the math section.
Okay. How useful? Okay, there's the rotary pilot's handbook. Okay. Do you think our course of training or the handbook was more effective? What do you think helped more? Our one-on-one training or the book, the FAA handbook?
I would say the one-on-one training was definitely more helpful.
Okay.
But I think it's definitely good to complement it with the handbook, obviously, just because, the one thing that I really like about the one-on-one training is you were able to really tell me what parts of the book to study.
Right.
And I definitely studied the right chapters, the right sections, because the first time that I took it, I was going through chapters and I was saying, okay, I don't need to know this. This seems too in-depth.
Mm-hmm.
But reality, so like an example of that was, it was asking about translating tendency and tail rotor thrust. And initially, I just totally disregarded that information because I thought, okay, this seems pretty specific.
No, that's very, very important.
But
because as a pilot, you need to understand what's going on with your craft, and so the translating tendency. If I'm in a hover, that tail rotor is gonna drag me over. If and I need to be cognizant of that.
Mm.
And so there are some design things that can be built into a helicopter to help compensate for that. But yeah. All right. Okay.
There was that. No, I would definitely say that. So, but also, so I had the FAA rotary wing handbook and I had the Army field manual.
Yeah, the field manual.
And I would say the one thing that was good about the field manual was definitely, I thought that the night flight information section in the field manual was a little bit better than the FAA rotary, because I did get a question on flying with night vision goggles.
You got a question about night vision goggles?
Yes.
All right.
I got a question about that. The question was, how do you properly scan for flight using night vision goggles? And it was quicker than you would during the day, slower than you would during the day, and I forget what the other two answers were.
I would say slower.
Yeah, it's slower.
Because of the design of the way that the eye is designed.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll learn this when you go to flight training for night vision. For night vision in flight, you don't look directly at the object. You kind of look off to the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have your rods and cones in your retina.
Mm-hmm.
And your rods are most effective for night vision, and you get the best clarity.
Mm.
So if you try to stare directly at something, there's kind of like a blind spot that's really not designed for night detection of things and stuff like that. But you'll learn that in flight school. But in your retina, you have light sensitive cells called rods and cones.
Mm.
You can tell I'm a super nerd, right?
But yeah, I also actually got a question on autokinesis.
Okay.
So, got a question on that. And what else? I got a question on hypoxia. And I'm trying to think. I think that was, pretty much it. Yeah, I got a question on what the cyclic controls, blade flapping, I got a question on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think. And on just like advancing and retreating blade, something with that, but I forget what the exact question was.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about the advance and retreating blade situation and the speed of the rotor. As far as So how do you feel?
Great. I mean, so the first time that I took the test, I did not feel, when I was in the middle of the test, I thought, I went in thinking I was prepared, and then in the middle of the test, I knew he was kicking my ass. And this time, there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to do well on it.
And you know what? People want to know, what about your simple drawings? and hidden figures. Damn, how can we forget about? I always focus I focus on the hardest stuff on the test. That's really like where I wanted my guys to excel at. And simple hidden figures and simple drawings is a matter of. And we got to talk about the spatial apperception with the helicopter pictures and stuff like that. So, all right. So number one, let's first talk about. What do we want to go into first?
Simple drawings?
Yeah, simple drawings.
Yeah. So simple drawings, I mean, it was pretty basic.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you complete the whole thing?
I did not, actually.
Okay.
I got up to about 85.
Okay.
But the problem with the simple figures is that it takes, not a lot of time, but it takes, a quarter of a second, because you click on one and then it like almost refreshes the page. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're scrolling down, or it's not like
because a lot of our training materials you be scrolling.
You just scroll right through.
Instead of just fading out, changing. Okay, so that's different, and I'll definitely make sure to pass that on to my new clients.
Because that's the thing, because like 4 questions pop up, and then you click it, and then it like refreshes. And because I was getting through in the study guides and on what we worked on, I was getting through 100, no problem. But
that flash on off, refresh screen, I guess it kind of hits you differently.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is it takes time, because like when I would go through and I would circle, if I printed out 100, I would just circle, and I would have like 6 seconds to spare, but it's probably like almost impossible to get through a full 100 accurately with the way that it's set up now. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, most of them are pretty self-explanatory, but like the tougher ones are, since it's on like kind of crummy computers, it'll have like it'll be like a clock face. It'll be 4 clock faces, mm-hmm. and 3 clocks will be coming at the same time, but one will be off by like 15 minutes. So it's like you really, really have to focus, or it'll have like the globe in black and white, and it'll be showing like Africa, but then it'll show South America. And like on the map, when you're on kind of that like low quality, kind of grainy black and white, because it looks like they photocopied it like 50 times before they finally put it in. Mm-hmm. So it's like you kind of have to pay attention to those, but for the most part, the other ones are pretty easy. It was only like 2 or 3 that were kind of low quality like that. Mm-hmm. So that was it for that.
All right. Okay. Hidden figures.
Yeah.
Okay. What test prep book did you have?
So I had the Aegis test prep book, the Aegis group one. Mm-hmm. And I also had, here, I got it right here, actually.
Okay. Because I have an important question to ask you. Yeah. And this would be for the people that buy these test prep books.
Was this one?
Okay, is that accepted ink? No, that's not accepted ink.
No, it's not.
Hold it up. Hold it up so I can see the publisher.
Yeah, I think it's...
Test prep books. Yeah, that's the publisher. Now, how comparable were the hidden figures examples to the actual real test?
Completely 100% different.
Completely 100% different. Now, what about your other test prep book?
That one, same thing, totally different.
Okay.
So that one, totally different. It's not even really comparable. It's 2 totally separate, sections. I mean, in the first time I took it, I thought the first 2 sections were going to be super easy, especially because in these test prep books, the figures are like really much clearer than they are on the exam. And I think, I could be wrong, but I believe in the Aegis test prep book, they will either shrink or get larger in size, and like they'll rotate, when in the test it's actually always going to be in the position that that it's shown, which you told me as well.
Okay. All right. Trying to think. 1 second. We talked about hidden figures. We talked about simple drawings. We talked about, and really the hidden figures, there's really, you just have to practice. That's the only preparation you could do for hidden figures and simple drawings. Now, did we talk about spatial apperception yet?
No, we did not.
Let's talk about spatial apperception.
Yeah, I mean, on the test, it was pretty much exactly like what we had gone over in practice, and it's similar to the test prep books section, but the Aegis one is horrible at replicating it.
Okay.
Just because it comes out, and I don't know if they like misprinted it or whatnot, but for like
and you know what, and that's okay. The drawings being off, do you want them to be exactly like the test? Yes, you do. But at the same time, if you have an instructor that tells you, okay, look, this is not what the test is going to look like, and this is how you should interpret what you're doing and how you should prepare for what you're doing, I think that is a good combative measure. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're just going to, go with that. But, what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but what I'm saying is the instructor kind of guides you along in that aspect. Because the hardest parts, and preparing people for this test before this was the SIFT, it was the FAST test, and they had a whole lot of other things going on, like cyclic motions and stuff like that and everything. But the math and the mechanical are like the two. Well, actually, 2 out of the 3, because Army aviation information. Like you recall, you didn't have any helicopter experience, but I had simulators that you could look at, and we could go through it, and I can demonstrate this is the type of thing, this is what they're talking about. If they're talking about, okay, when we raise the collective, or we push the cyclic forward. In our training program, you saw what actually happens when you push the cyclic forward, or you move it left or right, or pull it back, and stuff like that, and everything. So, so you had a leg up against, the applicants that you're in competition with, which I think is a good thing, because that's our motto: know before you go. Just have an idea, because most people, the recruiter will just be like, "Hey, just come and take it, see how you do."
Yeah.
Like you got pulled in the first time.
Yeah, I mean.
So. Yeah. And I just want to, because I always say, like in my videos and stuff, would you recommend anybody reading the book and taking the test? Or do you think it's better to have a qualified teacher or tutor that has like a track record with this test to bring you up? So, because you would have nailed this the first time. I know it.
Yeah.
I
mean, I had 2 study books. I had the test prep book and the Aegis book, and I had the FAA rotary wing manual and the Army field manual, and I read both SIFT study books.
Now, you did this by yourself the first time, right?
Yes, and I read both of them cover to cover.
And you did not get a desirable score?
No.
And this is because, with someone that's trained people, gotten people through this test, and listened to years of debriefs like we're doing now from different applicants with eyes-on information, it's like, you know what to focus on. You can read the whole book cover to cover.
Yeah.
And then I also taught you test-taking strategies as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that you're not going to read a book and get that.
You're not. Yeah. I would compare it to the test books are kind of like the appetizer, and then the tutoring sessions are like the meal. Because the test books will give you a surface level understanding of what you have to go over and stuff like that, but they won't really, because if I have a question, I can't ask the book. The book says what it says, versus if we do tutoring, I can ask you and you can explain it, you can show it to me, you can simulate it for me, stuff like that. Or you can just maybe explain it in a different way that I'll understand.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, just let me check my question list to make sure I asked everything I was going to ask, and it looks like I have. And, dude, man, first off, I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you, yeah.
And I know you and your family are excited. And all I want for my wall, when you go to warrant officer school, I want a picture of you in uniform for my wall.
Yeah, you got it. That's easy.
Yeah, that's all I want. And when you graduate, and then when you get winged, when you get your wings, that's all I request. So I know this is a stupid question because based on our line of questioning. So, would you recommend STEMwithKeno.com to somebody else if they were taking the SIFT?
110%. I mean, there is nothing more that could have prepared me for it. I mean, like we said, anything that I missed points on was definitely just because I couldn't retain it. Everything that you taught me was on the test. So anything that I made a mistake on.
Hold up, say that. Say that again one more time. Everything what?
Everything you taught me was definitely on the test.
Okay,
So
I just wanted to hear it. I like the way that sounds.
But yeah, anything that I made a mistake on was just, personal misunderstanding versus, not actually learning it. So yeah, felt good.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, man, you have been through a rigorous training session. I know I put you through hell. But there's a reason why I put you through hell, because I'll bring your stress levels up to here in training, because when the test, your stress levels will be down here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like my whole philosophy. If we're going to compete in a competition benching 50 pounds, I'm going to train you at 100. So you'll be lifting 50 like, man, I'm getting sleepy, man. So
I have to say that was one of the things is I felt so. Before the test started, obviously I was nervous but once I sat down in that chair and I started going, I was totally fine. Especially after the aviation section, since that was really the first knowledge-based section, I felt totally relaxed. The last time I was going through it, the first time, I couldn't wait to get done because I wasn't sure if I was passing or not. This time, I felt relaxed. I wasn't anxious or anything. The only thing I wanted to see was what the score was going to be. So definitely a big difference.
Okay. All right. And by big difference, you mean the first time when you prepare by yourself compared to after training with us?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, again, tell your father I said hello.
Will do.
Oh, what do you think was the hardest section for you? Probably the mechanical, right?
I would say so. I would say in terms of that, yeah, I think the hardest section to concentrate on was, I have a English and history degree. And I think just the hardest thing to kind of concentrate on, though, was the paragraph comprehension, but that was just concentration. Just because they make it some pretty darn boring topics.
Yeah, the material's very dry. I mean, for every debrief, every SIFT guy that I've ever gotten through, they tell them, oh man, it's just boring. So you do need to focus on there. But one thing that I tell everybody, don't make any assumptions.
Mm,
You know, if Keno likes ice cream, Keno likes to fly.
yeah.
Keno likes motion pictures. And then they'll say, well, in the passage, Keno likes roller skating. True or false? You know, it's false because it never said anything. So you don't take anything that wasn't really stated or mentioned by the author. That's like one of many of my reading comprehension strategies.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the most difficult was probably the mechanical, just because I feel like that gets progressively more difficult at probably like the fastest rate versus the math. The math stayed pretty. It was definitely going up on an incline in terms of difficulty, but it was pretty steady versus, you know, some of the mechanical comprehensions would be up here and then it would drop kind of low down to like it would like ask you about something with like nuclear power and then it would say atmospheric pressure and then it would go back up to some different things. So,
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, very happy with it.
Well, yeah, we hit everything. I know we hit everything. We went hard. And we hit everything. So, dude, man, go have a cold beer on me.
Yeah.
And just good luck to you, man. And really, I want my pictures, man, for real.
Yeah. I'll keep you up to date.
I'm gonna call your dad and be like, why haven't I ever seen my pictures, man? My wall, man.
Yeah. I'll keep you up to date.
Yeah, just keep me abreast of everything that's going on and everything. And you know, on maybe like a Friday or Saturday evening, if you just happen to be available for Skype or whatever, you know, I just like to pull you in every now and then on a Friday, Saturday. You could just just show up or whatever. And just, hey, Keno, you guys training today? And just, you know, because really for my clients, I want you to talk to them one-on-one, you know what I mean? And let them ask you questions and stuff like that, especially the ones that are pursuing the warrant officer flight training.
Yeah, tell anybody that wants it, send them my way, and yeah, I'm definitely open here.
Okay, buddy. Hey, listen, you take care of yourself, and congratulations to you and your family.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the help.
All right, you're welcome, sir.
All right, thanks. Talk to you soon.
All right, bud. Okay, guys, so that was our latest pass. He passed the SIFT, which is the Standard Instrument for Flight Training test today. If you want to be a United States Army aviator, this is a prerequisite for going into flight school for the United States Army. I've been preparing people for United States Army flight training, or to get into United States Army flight training for over 10 years. Before it was the SIFT, it was the FAST test. And that's when I started with the FAST, and then they transferred to the SIFT test and everything like that. So I talk till I'm blue in the face. Do not think you're just going to buy a book and read everything in that book and you're going to pass. You heard the applicant I just talked to. He did that the first time. And I've been making videos again and again and again, and I say it to him, and not just the SIFT, the FOQT, the ASTBE, and the OAR. Don't think, oh, I'm going to buy this book. You need somebody that trains people, that has a proven track record. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need. And yeah, it's going to cost some money. But on the other side of that coin, you're making an investment. You know, you're making a small investment now for something that's going to take you to the stars for decades. To me, you know, it's cheap, and you know, find somebody. I get enough work. You know, I'm always accepting clients, but I get enough work. So I guess I'm gonna cut it short there. I don't really see any other questions. And the reason, you know, one of the questions was, you know, oh, well, what was their score? You know, it's a, I guess a teacher-student relationship anonymity type thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if somebody might not be too happy about putting this information out, but hey, this is what I do. I get effective results for people that want to take the SIFT test, and I help my clients get effective results. So I don't really do a whole lot of these anymore, but every now and then I'll just do a couple in different areas of the test, and I put them up for a while. Then I take the videos down after a while because it's just like a student teacher client type privilege, and I'm sure that's all I'm doing is test preparation. So, and there's no classified information. So I mean, it's like we're not doing anything, but still, any client that I deal with, nobody, hey, did you this guy train with you or whatever? No, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I wouldn't tell you if I did know. But that being that, guys, you guys have a great Thursday, and just study hard, man. If you do really, really well in this test, this is the reason why the United States Army will throw millions of dollars of flight training at you. And then after you get out and stuff, you have so many opportunities that it's amazing. But I talk one-on-one with my clients about that. So everybody, please like, subscribe, and share this video on your social media networks. If you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. And anybody that needs SIFT test preparation, ASVAB test preparation, AFOQT, ASTBE, OAR, I think I said SIFT and ASVAB, yeah. Every military aptitude test, I help, that's what I'm in the business of doing, is helping people prepare for these exams. The ASVAB is necessary because you need to give the military a reason to show that you have the aptitude. Like, say, if I wanted to be an air traffic controller, I have to show aptitude that I can speak clearly, enunciate my voice, that I can calculate things and stuff like that. Otherwise, they're not gonna send you for that. And that's all I have. All right. So, hey guys, have a great day. I'll see you guys next video. Take care.